Hello PaxWest 2025 and hello friends of the Northern Entertainment. Welcome to the showcase of Firefighting Simulator Ignite. We will have a look here for the next 15 minutes at what the game brings, and you can see here already we have a completely new station to walk in now. And not only that, this station is also your multiplayer lobby, so no more standing idly in front of the apparatus while you wait for other people to join. And we also have a character editor that you can see here right now. Different voices you can choose, obviously different heads for the character, but what's most impressive here is the fact that fire decks as well as Rosenbauer gear and hikes, and I don't know who else was on the boots, forgive me on that. But all this is used, of course, with a license, so you have a real live gear that you can use. Here you see all the different ones. They are unlockable in the game. As you progress through the game, you have different helmets and different colors, and of course also the different boots, as I mentioned. Now back here in the station, you can see in the ready room, they are watching some construction simulator. Why not? I would do the same thing if I was bored. And then we have here a little pool table and gaming equipment. Oh yeah, I love that good old Pac-Man. And then you go out this door, and you can go many ways here, but yeah, we're gonna go now out this door, down the ladder, into the apparatus bay. From there, we're not gonna go to a call out. No, we will go down that way, but first of all, here we have a pole that we can indeed slide down. It is a little bit different from how you would use it in a real life fire station, but I will talk more about it in a little bit. But we're following the green line to the training area, which is another new feature. And of course, I mentioned that briefly. We have co-op again. We have VoIP, so voice over IP in co-op, and crossplay on all platforms. So that's really nice. You have crossplay, so your friends in the console community can play with you as well. Here we have the training center, and boy is it ever a nice training center, because you can create your own missions here in the firehouse. Or in the training grounds, and just with simple sliders you can make it more or less difficult, and you have all kinds of special fires, electrical fires, gas leaks, roof rescue. That's another thing. You have now vertical ventilation, which also introduces a nice K12 saw. And yeah, like I said, you have all these different special fires. You can do rescues, you can do all this. Now here from the training center, going back towards the engine bay, and now we're gonna go and walk to the briefing room. But before we go to the briefing room, we're gonna have a quick look here at the menu, and not only do we have a ranking system here that you can see, but we have also a mission editor as well as access to mod.io. Yes, you can indeed edit missions and create your own missions. That is something that a lot of people wanted, and here it is. So if you want to create an absolutely crazy scenario, then this is your chance to do so. It is a simple click, a simple drag and drop for the most part. I'm not sure exactly how the editor works, because to be honest with you, I'm not a developer, and I'm sure there will be some sort of a tutorial before too long as to how to use this appropriately. As you can see here, I'm just using the arrows to move some fire objects a little bit around. And you can also see the new ladders that are pre-positioned, and you just have to press E. Well, if you play with keyboard, of course different on your controller, but you just can place ladders. They are pre-positioned already for your convenience. Of course, we have also ladder trucks, mid-mount ladders, rear-mount ladders, And of course the T-Rex, which is always a fan favorite. And here you can see the sheer amount of objects that are already there for your enjoyment. Now that being said, we're gonna go back into the station. And here, clicking on the screen, we open our mission menu, which shows us all the different missions that we can, respond to. Of course, if you remember the predecessor of this game, the old firefighting simulator, The Squad, then you know this kind of already. You have the side missions, which have a randomized stats and parameters, and you have the main missions, which are more scripted, and then you have the big events that really push the whole storyline along and also help you to rank up with the ranking system that is of course implemented. And then once you are finally decided on your mission, you are greeted by the next screen, and that is of course where you choose your apparatus for the mission. Now when you start the game, of course you need to unlock a lot of the apparatus through the progression. Then the next screen after that, once you chose your apparatus, is your final review, where you can adjust the difficulty setting between the different steps. You can see it here, easy, medium and hard. Then you can decide on your AI responsiveness, and the AI responsiveness was completely overhauled together with some improvements on the physics system as well as on the fire system, but I'm gonna talk more about this as we get into the actual firefighting here. In the second half, essentially, of this preview. But one of the major things is you can change the approach now. You can skip the whole driving thing if you just want to go straight into the action from the station, or you can, of course, also drive to the scene. Now, having made all these choices, and also when you choose to drive to the scene, you are then greeted by this little number here where the alarms are sounding. Everybody is running to the apparatus. We are also going to our apparatus here. In this case, showcasing the brand new Rosenbauer RTX electric vehicle. And if you are an apparatus aficionado, then, and I know a lot of you guys are, then you know this thing already, because the LAFE as well as, well, I think several German stations have them now too, from what I know. But yeah, of course, this is indeed a fully electric vehicle. And we are now driving. It shows you the driving system a little bit, as well as the AI traffic that most of the times will go away. We have first-person view in the vehicle as well as during the firefighting. And I submit to you that firefighting in first-person view is a lot nicer. A lot more immersive than when you do this in third-person view. I found myself switching a lot into first-person view just because it gives you a better idea of what you actually do. And as we are, well, I never said I'm a good driver, but as we are racing down to the scene here, I'm gonna skip the rest of the drive because you kinda know how this goes, and I don't wanna be laughed at by you guys for my terrible driving. So that being said, I'm cutting here right into the action where we are actually already starting our interior attack. And you can see here the improved fire physics, how the fire is coming through the openings, where you really have to use, or should use, your combination nozzle, where you can switch between a fog pattern and a solid stream. Of course, the fog pattern ideally to cool down the environment and get those nasty flames, or keep those nasty flames from coming through doorways and such. And here you can also see now that the smoke in the rooms is accumulating, and you definitely want to get down closer to the floor, because otherwise you're gonna be left with rather poor visibility. Yeah, the introduction of this additional tool to our tool belt is of course great, because you can see where the fire is still raging, even though you are in a room that seemingly has no fire left, but you can see how the other house is everything else but cold. Speaking of being out cold, our AI should maybe grab that gentleman there. And of course we have our quick commands as well as our command, which those of you that know the predecessor of this game will certainly remember. Now we are using our T-Rex here, getting up on the roof, show you some roof operations here, doing some ventilation cuts. Even though you can see that the fire actually vented itself back there, but we have some other rooms in the front that need some ventilation, and we are now on the roof using our K12 and yeah, cutting some holes into the roof so that the hot gases and the smoke can escape, and that's really nicely depicted. And you can here also see the little mini game that you have when you use the K12, so that you don't go too far left or too far right, because if you do that, then the cutting disc will jam up, and you have to start anew, and not completely anew, but partially. And here we are now going for some search and rescue action. This door has to go. You can go through doors, you can go through certain walls. You will see that when the wall has a crack, you can go through, you can smash windows, you can smash, well, you can smash a lot of stuff. And here we have the AI doing some of our bidding. And we are moving in here, finding our victim, putting the axe down, grabbing it. And we'll quickly move out. And here you can also see how the smoke accumulates. So of course, crouching here is important. We're just gonna make our way here, past the AI, out of the room. And here you can see again, third person as well as first person. Definitely something that you will make use of. Like I said, I personally have an affection to go always for first person, but be that as it may. As promised, in this little clip here, you're gonna see me walking on a floor that I should not be walking on, and you can see how the floor can collapse. Also, roofs can collapse. And this really, as a summary, is just one more thing that makes this game very enjoyable. And from the vertical ventilation and the circular as a co-op lobby, the training area at the fire station, the mission editor, and I'm really looking forward to what you guys can come up with here with those missions. I'm looking forward to showcasing really good missions on my channel. And then of course we have the two different spray patterns. Foam as an extinguishing agent that we can switch on the engine. We have the voice chatting co-op, the cross-play on all platforms, the character customization, gas leaks, explosions, and of course, like I mentioned before, the roofs and floors as well as staircases can collapse. So all this and so much more. I think there's hundreds of hours of fun in this game, and I do hope you enjoy it at least as much as I did. And here in the last 2 minutes, we're gonna look at a couple of different roof operations. Here again is the T-Rex, now from a different view, and we're gonna be using the foam. Gonna switch that now on the engine, and you can do that on every engine. You can switch to foam, but just keep in mind that if you switch to foam, then you will have all hoses that are connected to that engine on foam. And for the last minute and a half here, I'm gonna show you guys a little bit more of what's not really the firefighting aspect of the game, but what are some of the other aspects in the search and rescue, if you will. And once again, I would like to thank you all for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this little showcase and I was able to kinda whet your appetite for the game. I certainly enjoyed every minute of it so far, and I hope that you will have at least as much fun playing it as I had recording this. And yeah, thanks again to my friends at Astragon. This is it from me while I'm just walking here over the catwalk and looking for the electrical box. I say thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your PaxWest 2025. And don't forget to wishlist the game once it's on Steam. Thank you and goodbye.